The government is staring down the barrel of a fierce fight with the energy sector, with major fossil fuel producers claiming the agenda will damage their industry, while the Greens try to force Labor to go further than what they're doing with the price caps. Let's bring in our political reporter, Joel Philp. Joel, Greens leader Adam Brandt has just had a few words this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Kieran. Look, this is ahead of that extra parliamentary sitting day on Thursday, and the Greens leader said that out of the next 48 hours, if his party can manage to get a little bit more money in the pockets of Australians, especially those who need it the most, he would be happy with the negotiations. What is that specifically referring to? Well, the Greens are pushing for a freeze on electricity prices paid through by more taxes on these energy production companies, and beyond that, also pushing for incentives for people during this price cap period to transition away from, for example, gas stovetops, both households and businesses, to be given incentives or subsidies for that to occur. So those two seem to be the two crucial negotiating factors that the Greens are taking into these talks with the government. Here's what the Greens leader had to say about this a short time ago.
Hopefully our concerns can be addressed by the time the legislation comes to Parliament on Thursday. We're going to continue having those discussions in good faith with the government. Obviously, this is all moving very quickly. We are responding to it very quickly, but we want to see more money in people's pockets. We want to see these coal and gas corporations paying more tax, and we want to see the government step in to help people replace their expensive to run appliances with cheaper, cleaner ones so that power bills stay down for a very long time.
So as it seems, the government is negotiating with the left side of politics to try to get its energy relief plan through the Senate on Thursday. In the meantime, the industry itself is really ramping up its attacks on the government, with insiders from these gas corporations saying that they are frustrated and angry these negotiations are going on in secret and not through a wider consultation with the industry. Woodside is one of the latest companies to come out swinging against the government. It's issued a statement from their CEO. I'll read to you now. It says, "We need to unlock gas supply now. For example, Woodside has been looking at options to increase supply, including through new LNG import terminals, exploration spending and further development on the East Coast. Unfortunately, the proposed market intervention will make it very difficult for industry to economically invest to increase supply." It comes as energy giant Shell also appeared to be moving away from that agreement they struck with the government to increase the supply on the East Coast gas market just months ago. And they've also told me to consider the difference between the countries of Australia and Germany. Germany pushing ahead with building 6 new LNG import terminals as that country tries to shore up its gas supply. In the meantime, Energy Minister Chris Bowen is simply staring down these companies, saying he's got to protect Australian businesses and households from these high energy prices.
Shell is one of the most profitable companies in Australia, and we don't mind them making profits in their gas offshore, their gas exports. They can make as much profit as they want doing that. But Australians have a right to this gas at a fair price, and I make this very clear. The government will be acting in the national interest, not in the interest of Shell, not in the interest of any gas company.
Now, from that Greens press conference we heard a short time ago, it seems quite clear that the Greens are attempting to get the government to wrap in a number of different things into a kind of omnibus bill that goes beyond simply a price cap on gas and it stretches out into some more areas. The opposition is frustrated by the idea of all of this being lumped together because they won't be able to single out individual bits that they philosophically disagree with. Here's the opposition spokesperson, Paul Fletcher, speaking about the expectation of what is occurring just 2 days from now.
What the government is suggesting is that this complicated bill is going to be rammed through both houses of Parliament in one day. We haven't yet seen the bill. We're 2 days out from the parliamentary sitting. We have not seen the bill. The government's saying there won't be question time, so there won't be an opportunity to ask questions. And all of the normal parliamentary processes in which a complicated piece of legislation is considered, such as a Senate committee or a parliamentary committee, are not being contemplated by the government.
An agreement on these temporary price caps for coal and gas may be effectively done and dusted this week. But beyond that, the government is staring down the barrel of a prolonged argument with these coal and gas producers over its intentions perhaps into the new year to set out a plan to regulate prices on an ongoing basis under the premise that they would need to be charging reasonable prices within the domestic market. So this could continue on for some time. Kieran?
Joel, thank you for the update. Appreciate it.